What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Enoch. It's my brother James. You
Oh,
know how we like to do it before we get going. Let me bow our heads. Father in heaven, thank you for this day. We thank you for this moment right now. Use us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
amen.
Tell us the mission statement, my brother.
We always empower men to become leaders in society under God's law. Consequently, men, women, and children understand the foundations of a real man.
Once again, we want to do something a little different again. We like this is part two of a little thing we got going to give y'all the female's perspective. So we got another guest and be ready to be inspired and tuned and learn from somebody else because y'all tired of hearing us. So this is the Blood Brothers Podcast. Let's go. We got another guest in the building. Welcome to the podcast, Miss Chelsea.
Hi, everybody.
What's up, Chelsea? Listen, all right. So I met Chelsea. Was it 3 years ago?
2017.
27. Oh, that was 3 years ago because we in 2020. All right. So I met Chelsea. We worked together. She was one of my coworkers, and the first time Chelsea met me, she told me, "Yo, I thought you was from Far Rockaway." Straight like that. I'm like, nah, I'm actually from Long Island, but all right, cool. But over the years, I've watched Chelsea mature and grow, and it's been a pleasant sight to see because I have a lot of respect for Chelsea and her honesty and her extreme bluntness.
That's what we
So
need here.
we're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about relationships
Mhm.
and dating and how your philosophy was formed from a child to an adult. So I guess the first question we want to ask is, were your parents married?
Yes, and they still are actually.
They're
Oh
still
wow.
married. How long they been married for?
I don't know the exact amount of years, but I think it's in the realm of 30 years.
30 years?
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
that's real.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, I'm sorry. I know exactly how long they've been married. They've been married for 36 years.
Wow.
36 years. That's amazing.
That's
That is
just about
super.
like my parents.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's dope. How many siblings you got?
I am the youngest of five girls.
Five
Five
girls?
girls.
Yo, I
Wow.
never knew that. Wow.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't know you as good as I thought. All right.
Wow.
So let me ask you this. How is your relationship with your parents? Let's start with your mom first.
Pretty good. I think what me and my relationship with my parents are, I don't know, it's regular. I get arguments with my parents like everybody else does. I
Yeah.
mean, I piss my parents off. I'm their baby, so I kind of annoy them more than their other kids.
So are you the spoiled one? Is that what you would say?
Let my other sisters tell it that I'm the spoiled one, but I
Yeah.
don't really see it as such. I don't think I'm spoiled by anybody. I kind of do everything for
Okay.
myself, so I don't know where I would be spoiled at.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so let me ask you this then. How's your relationship with your dad? Like from I guess let's start in your younger years. How was your relationship with him?
Oh, when I was really young, like when I was a child, me and my
Mhm.
dad were like this. When they
Okay.
say I look like him, I'm
Hmm.
offended. People say that because I don't look like him.
So
um,
what were like the characteristics of you like your relationship? Like what made you guys so close?
because my dad is like, I don't know, my parents balance each other out because my mom is the more serious one and my dad is like just like playful. He doesn't really care about anything unless
Mm.
we're getting in trouble. Then it's like so extra serious. Like he's like chill.
Okay, so you would I guess comment your or reflect in a way where you're I don't really say I view you as a tough skinned young lady, right? Like I look at you and I don't think like our jokes are very raw. That's like you get to it. So would you say that that mentality that came from your relationship with your father and being able to see, a man have that kind of, impact on you?
Not so much my dad. I just my family in general.
Hmm.
Like from when I was young, me and my family always crack jokes on each other. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I kind of built up. A lot of people actually say that about me. Like they're like, I feel like you could just take any joke and like you're like one of the toughest girls that I know. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't. It's from my dad. Yes, he's a part of it because my
Mm-hmm.
dad also cracks a lot of jokes.
Mm-hmm.
And like, some people probably cry, but it's just like I don't know.
Does he? Let me ask you. So how does he interact? Because I'm like we're very prone on the relationships fathers have with their children and
Mm-hmm.
how it forms the mentality of kids. So did your relationship stay consistent throughout your whole life? Meaning, like as you got older, did he get more strict, or was it like you kind of leaned on him more for guidance
No,
in that
when I got
aspect?
older, like junior high to high school, it was shambles because it
Mm-hmm.
was kind of just like I don't know. Like, I mean, he has all daughters, so it's like
Hmm.
as tough as he wants to be. My dad kind of he didn't act like he had all daughters. Kind of acted like he had sons.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um, when I was like in middle school and high school,
Hmm.
probably like not the best times for us because it's
Hmm.
kind of like I want to do what I want to do, and he was
Yeah.
being extra strict, and we would butt heads a lot. And then I went away to college, and then our relationship got really good because I wasn't here. I didn't live here for 4 years,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and then now I'm back, and it's kind of just like I'm an adult now. I live
Yeah.
here still, but like I'm an adult,
Yeah.
and I mean, not much for us to butt heads on. I'm gonna do what I want to do while
Hmm.
still respecting them because I live in their house.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So you said your parents were married over 30 years.
Hmm.
So what is your perspective on marriage, seeing them?
Um, it's really odd to say because you would think because my parents are married for so long that I would see them and be like, oh, goals. I
Yeah.
don't I don't know. For some reason, I'm just not one of those people, and that's for anybody. It's not specifically for my parents.
Hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't really look at people. I'll see traits of a relationship and say, oh, that's nice, and I like that, or that's something I aspire to be like.
Hmm.
For marriage, I take a lot of the traditional values
Okay.
Okay.
I think my parents have. Um, and I always every most guys that I seriously date find that to be such a shocker because of the type of person I am. Like
Hmm.
I believe in traditional roles. Like
Hmm.
I'll make a plate of food for my husband first.
Hmm.
You must be
I'll,
Caribbean.
I am. I'm patient.
Me too. I know it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I knew it. I
Dang,
knew
yo, he always identifies that. How do y'all
it.
know that?
I just, I don't
It's a
know.
thing.
I don't know. I just, it's just,
Yo,
I don't know, bro.
yo, every person that has been like identified with him, like, yeah, I'm Haitian. He be like, yo, I know they Haitian. I'm like, how did
Yeah.
you figure that out? She didn't say nothing out of the ordinary. She said something very basic. I
Yeah, I
take care of
know.
my man. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And it's my
but how
first
did
time
you?
meeting
But
her.
how did
Yep.
you identify that? I'm just curious.
It must be the traditions growing up. Like, growing up, you realize they align across the board with other families. Like, it just aligns. Even the
Wow.
same way, like her parents married over 30 years. My parents married over 30 years.
Yeah, I didn't even put that together. That's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. All right,
Yeah.
go ahead. My fault. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No,
Go
you're
ahead. E,
fine.
what's your next one? Go ahead.
Wait, me or
Nah, Enoch, go ahead. My fault. My fault. Go ahead. I didn't mean to
So,
interrupt. That
would
blew.
you say it has their marriage have a positive or negative effect on you watching them as you were younger and to now?
it's a balance of both.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the negative part I'll say is like um clearly they're traditional Haitian people from
Mm-hmm.
Haiti and I'm
Yep.
American. So there's certain things that as a 25-year-old compared to my parents who are in their 60s,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, no, I'm not doing that because it's just progression because of
Yeah.
our age difference.
Mhm.
The positive stuff is my mom doesn't drive.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad drives her everywhere. So it's
Yeah.
like it's a balance. It's a balance. My mom, when she cooks food, my dad eats first. My dad gets the most amount of food, and then he gets another side plate of food to eat after the fact. And here I'm like, can
Yeah.
I get a second plate of food?
Yeah.
But those are those like things like that. Um, they really care for each other.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, like
Yep.
my dad still rubs my mom's feet. My
Mm-hmm.
dad has diabetes, so my mom has to like watch for his sugar. So she'll change. Like she's recently started changing the way she prepares food to make sure his
Mm-hmm.
sugar doesn't spike. They truly care about each other. So like those are the good aspects that I take. And the negatives is not real negatives. It's just because I'm younger than them and I'm a different generation. It's just things that I probably be like, nah, I'm okay.
So it's
Like,
almost like a cultural clash with
yeah,
traditions and okay, I get
yeah.
that. I get that.
All right, so Chelsea, I always tell Chelsea anytime I talk to her, I always be like, I need to meet her husband, her boyfriend. I need to talk
Meet
to
him
him.
too. I
She
need to meet him too
she
because I
said
don't
she
know
need to
where
meet
he
him too. Right.
is.
So for me, I'm gonna be honest. Like when I have girls that are really my friends, I do care about who they date. I
Mhm.
do. And it's not
Yep.
in a negative way. I just don't want you to experience certain things, right?
Mhm.
And I want you to pick up on certain traits. And I know you're smart, I get it, all of that. But at the end of the day, I'm still a guy, so there's certain things I could probably pick up on that you don't.
Fact. That's a fact.
But there's some question I gotta ask you. All right, so listen, what's your type of guy, right? Like I need to know. So let's start with looks. What
So
what
I don't.
is your standard?
So let's start there. I don't have a type like at all.
Okay.
Like I don't understand the concept of people saying I have like them having a type because I feel like when you have a type, you might block your blessings. Like if I was to say I only date 6'3" light skinned men,
Yeah.
Mhm.
maybe there's a 6 foot dark skinned man that could be
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
husband. Like
Uh-huh.
so I don't have a type. There's character traits that I identify in people that I typically like.
Okay.
One,
Run them down.
Mhm.
I was trying to like
Nah, run them
You know the
down. Let me hear
spot. You
that.
gotta you gotta
so
be prepared when he come in the room. You gotta be able to spot it.
yeah. Well, the only like physical trait of somebody that I would say I would like somebody that's taller than me. I'm a
Duh.
taller female. I'm a taller female. I'm 5'9". So it's like I
okay,
I
yeah.
kind of need and I wear heels all the time. James knows this. I always have heels.
Right.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you could be the same height as me with the heels. I've even dated people that's like a tad bit shorter than me, just
Yeah.
like right here.
Yeah. I'm not gonna front. I was gonna call you on your bluff after you did it. I'm gonna say, all right, let me just throw one out there. I know for a fact you care about height requirements. So
Yeah,
let's just kill that. We can kill that. Everything else we can work around.
yeah,
But
the height.
let's talk about personality traits. Like what
Okay,
type of
so
guys
one,
you know that you are attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
the first thing I could think of, I need somebody that's motivated. And
Mm,
when I say motivated, I cannot stand people that are like complacent or like not. I'm a go getter. Like I get my money, I go to work. If I'm not making money, I'm losing money. That's my mentality.
yeah.
I can't be with somebody that just is just like
Mm-hmm.
There.
Yeah.
I don't. They don't need to be the richest person in the world. I just want somebody at my level. I don't
Yeah.
want to.
Okay.
I got that grind.
I'm not building a man up. I'm not doing that. No.
Yeah.
Okay. I like
So
that. Nah, that's good. That's good. Give me
Yeah.
so
another
I,
one.
I mean I've done it. Every female probably in the
Mhm.
world has done it, but I've learned my lesson. This is not Build the Bear workshop. So, it's done. It's done. Um,
Ooh, build a bed. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We done talked about that.
My bad. Go ahead. Next one.
Yeah. Yeah.
besides
That's a fact.
that,
Oh.
I really, if you're funny, you like won me halfway over. Like I really love to laugh. That's my favorite thing in the world to do, and it's really not hard to be funny to me because I really laugh at anything. So funny, respectful, and I mean across the board because I
Mhm.
see like there's a lot of girls that say like, "Oh, I want my man to be nice to me but mean to everybody else," but don't realize
Mm.
that the meanness that he's given to somebody else could easily turn to the meanness he's given to you. So,
Facts.
respectful across all boards. Like I don't like men that call females out their name
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and at
Yeah.
all. Spiritual. I say they don't need to be. I've actually dated like a really religious person before.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the funnest.
What was
It
your
was
experience?
um, he was one of those religious people that first of all, he was a hypocrite because he wanted to sit here and preach God's word on certain things. And then the other things,
Mm-hmm.
it would be like, oh, no, we don't have to follow those rules, but we have to
He
follow
wasn't
these rules.
consistent. He
So,
wasn't consistent.
yeah. And then, like, he would try to, like, make me, like, he didn't drink or smoke. I don't smoke. I just drink.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you on that one. Shouts out to the people. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
James tried to convert me a few times. No, thank you.
Listen. We'll talk about that later, though. Go ahead, though. Uh-huh.
But he would try to, like, make me feel bad about drinking, and this was my boyfriend when I was in college. So
Mm.
um,
Yeah.
I would just be like, I respect you for the type of person you are. You don't
Yeah.
drink. Don't try to force you to drink. Don't try to impose certain things on me. And it's not like I was like going crazy. I was in college. It was just regular
Yeah.
drinking. Like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so. I would date like a religious person. Like you could go to church. I go to church, but I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I just don't like those type of religious people that try to force their agendas on you.
Mm.
So let me tell you this real quick, right? On the sidebar. So we talk about this all the time, right? I'm all right. So one time me and Chess we used to drive. So one time we driving, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's that song? Oh my god, you waited for me, right?
Yes.
So
Oh, it's
I'm
still my
Travis
bumping,
song.
Green.
right? I'm
Travis Green.
bumping. I'm
That's
bumping in the
good.
V.
That's
That's
our
my
joint right
joint.
there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Travis Green. I'm bumping, but now let me remind you, I had many conversations with Chelsea. It was regular, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she get in the car with me. And she looked at me like I had like 14 heads. What are you like? What are you listening to? I'm like, what do you mean? What I'm listening to? Like, this
Yeah.
is Travis Green. This
Facts.
is my song. We get into a little dialogue about it, and I just started explaining to her how my thought process is,
Mm-hmm.
and you could tell it was like at that moment she's like, I didn't even know that somebody like that had that type of personality could identify themselves
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
God or that type of philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying at that moment that Chelsea was like, that might be all right. But one thing I will say is that a couple weeks later, she's like, yo, what's that song again that you was playing? My mom, she was like, my mom, I played it for my mom. My mom really liked it. I was like, see, I told you, like,
It's
it's
still
Yeah.
on my
not, and,
phone.
and I'm gonna tell you, like, honestly, it's not, don't ever really search for a religious man, right? Because
Yeah.
you're right. In many ways, they're very
Mm-hmm.
hypocritical about their mentality and what happens is it gives it such a bad stigma, right? And that I think that's where people get lost in translation because now you have this philosophy in your head where you're like, yeah,
Exactly.
I don't want a religious guy
Religious man.
who's like
Yeah.
this. And it's like, nah, you're right. Don't want that. Just want a
Yeah.
man who values principles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So don't be inconsistent in your principles. And that's what you
Yeah.
just basically said. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you can't drink, but we can have sex. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
like, hold on, what? Didn't God say
Yeah.
we're not supposed to have sex? Like you
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
the fact that he thought that you would be dumb enough not to pick up on that,
Mm-hmm.
it
Yeah.
just says a lot about him. So I would say I wouldn't cross it off your list. I would just say
Yeah.
be mindful of consistent morals. You know what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because I think that plays a major part. All right, let me ask you this. This is the last one about your type, right? So you said go to work. Does it matter what job he has?
Yes.
Okay, I respect that.
Okay.
I would
Explain
yes.
why though.
It goes back to me wanting somebody at my level.
Yep,
No shame to anybody.
of course.
Whatever they do,
Mm-hmm.
I just want somebody at my level. And that's just my preference. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean that that person is horrible. And who knows? Maybe I'm blocking my blessings by doing it. But in my mind, like to think in my head, like, am I going to sit here and go date somebody that works at McDonald's right now? Probably not.
And
Mm.
and and let me tell you why
Mm.
there's nothing wrong with that, right? And I know some guys take offense to that, but
Yeah.
ignore them because that's immature of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, you're bringing something to the table, right? If you can't match my meal that I'm bringing to the table, why would I even have a conversation with you on a serious level? I never said we couldn't be friends,
Yeah.
but you're at a place in your life where you're like, look, I know exactly what I want. I know how I'm gonna get there. I'm at a place where I'm comfortable, but I'm not satisfied. So for a man to think that he could come into your life
Mm-hmm.
with less than at least equal to,
Yeah.
like if you, I'm gonna be honest, if you introduce me to them and I'm gonna ask, hey, where do you work? What do you do? And they tell
Mm-hmm.
me like, hey, I work at Burger King, I flip burgers. I wouldn't knock them, but I would just say, okay, well, what's the next step though? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
it has to be a plan. Like, okay, you're there, but are you there because you work at school? Is it the schedule?
Yeah.
Do you
Mm-hmm.
have plans for the next 3 years? Do you plan on
Mm-hmm.
being a manager there? I mean, there has to be some kind of, motivating
Yeah. If you're just
structure.
content, like, I'm
Yeah,
good. I'm good with my check. Like, yo, pay my little bills and I'm straight. Like, you don't want to move forward in life. Like,
Yeah.
how can I want to be with somebody like that?
I was
that's an
actually
extreme turn off. Yeah.
I was actually at a restaurant with one of my friends a few weeks ago
Hmm.
in Brooklyn, and the busser, like the person that cleans off the table or whatever,
Yeah.
um he tried to get my friend's number, and she's like, "Oh, I don't want to date him. Like he's busting tables." So I asked him. I was like, "Oh, um, what do you do?" Or no, I asked him something about him having a car because that was one of her standards. Like she won't
Yeah.
date someone that doesn't have a car.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me, he was like, "No, I'm in school getting my master's, and I'm working here so
Yeah.
I can get a car." And to me, I said I would date him.
Yeah.
I said I would date him. That's somebody working towards something. You have a job so you could get a car. Like
Mm-hmm.
that wouldn't be a problem for me. Now, if he just said, "Nah, I'm just working here, just so I
Yeah,
can get some gas,"
exactly.
I'm
I'd probably be
chilling.
like,
I'm macking. You know
The
what I mean? I'm doing
context
my
of
thing
it.
in here.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, you'd be like,
"No,
all right, you just
Mhm.
might not be my type. You
yeah."
know, you
Yeah.
might be somebody's type, just not mine.
Exactly.
I respect that. So, all right, let me ask you this then, right? Other than the lack of ambition, what is another deal breaker for you?
In a relationship or like meeting somebody.
I guess you have to say with the meeting because you wouldn't
Okay.
even be in a relationship with them
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying.
Um, I'm trying to think what these men do every day to discuss this.
Think about the
Because
talking
they do
stage.
a lot.
Like, what is like, okay, I'm done talking to him. I'm not talking to him no more.
Um, if it's somebody that I'm meeting and we're trying to get to the relationship stage,
Mm-hmm.
inconsistency,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
lying for absolutely no reason, which is a
oh,
very big thing for me.
yeah.
I find, especially men that are, I won't even say my age because I
It's
mostly deal
across
with
the
men my
board. There
age.
you go.
Mm-hmm.
They just lie unprovoked, and I just don't understand. I never met such a species of people that lie unprovoked. It's like,
Oh my gosh.
what was the reason for the lie? And then you get caught in the lie, so you're a bad liar. Like so
Man.
that, and I think I'm pretty like chill. Like when I'm talking to people, like I make it very clear, do whatever you want. I don't expect you to like me be the only person you're talking to. We live in New
Mm-hmm.
York. Come on, let's be serious. But
Yeah.
like when there's certain things that I expect from people. Oh, I'm sorry. This a very big thing for me is people that are trying to court you or get to know you. I'm sorry, it's a stranger
Mm-hmm.
here.
Mm-hmm.
That go days without speaking to you.
Mm.
I
Yeah, that's mad
cannot
weird.
stand that.
Communication. Yeah.
And it's I don't need to like the person that I'm getting to know. I don't need to speak to them all day every day, but it would be nice to speak to you at least one point a day. Hey, how's your day
Yeah.
going? Hey, good
Yeah.
morning. At one point of contact in the day is all I really ask for.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
the bad texter stuff, I don't believe in any of that because I'm if people that say they're bad texters, if they thought I was giving them $1 million, I bet you they'd be texting me every
That's a
day.
fact. That's a
That's
fact.
that.
That's a fact.
Or so hold on, you talking about the people that text like they'll text and they won't respond for like mad long or
Mm-hmm.
oh god, I hate that. You're right. No, you're
Right.
That
right.
and
Uh,
then we'll have be in a conversation. They stop responding,
Son,
and I'm not even joking to you two. Respond the next day and trying to continue the conversation. Are you
mm,
nuts?
mm. Yeah. Yeah.
It's horrible out here.
it's a cold world for them because even to think that you have those problems is like a bit concerning
Yeah.
for me because I'm like, hold on, how is it that that is
Mm.
not like if I'm trying to get to know someone, I
Yeah.
would think that the effort would be put behind it. Like, hey, look, I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna hit you up every day. I mean, a guy that want a girl, I'm hitting you up every day. What's up?
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to link. Like, can we go out to
Exactly.
Yeah.
eat?
Yeah.
Maybe this is a different gen. What is all right? So let me ask you. This will be the last one on dating. What is your age range then? Because you're 25 now. Happy birthday! Happy belated birthday. She was
Hey,
turned
happy
up. She was turned
birthday.
up the other day. Um, what is your age range?
The youngest person I've ever dated was the same age as me. The oldest
Hmm.
person I've ever dated was 10 years older than me.
Wow.
10 years. Okay.
And was there a
I typically
difference?
I typically date men like 2 to 3 years and up older than me.
Okay.
Like
Hmm. Now,
Was
do you
there?
see a
you're-
difference
you-
between the ages?
no, which is the worst part.
Wow. Wow.
There's some differences. Like the older men that I've dated, clearly in most aspects of their life are more mature, and I don't have to deal with the problems that I deal with when
Mm-hmm.
I'm dating somebody that's 25.
Mm-hmm.
But across the board, I've found that men are really just men,
Wow.
regardless of the age.
Let me
It's
ask
only
you this then. Hold on. So you said
Man, this
10 a
podcast is
10-year
lit.
gap, right?
Jeez.
Within your 10-year gap, what are or what was something that you seen in like your age range that was you were just like, what is like what something wrong up here? Like what is, well, I guess what is the most negative attribute of someone that age?
Men that put in no effort and expect literally the world from a woman. I
Mm.
can't comprehend it. You
Hmm.
don't care about me as a person, my well-being. You don't check on me. I'm just giving like an example.
Yeah,
This
of
is not,
course, of course.
but you'll be quick to ask me to lay in bed with you. You'll be
Yeah.
quick
Yeah.
to do those type of things. I can't comprehend that. And it's like I know almost all men have the common sense because if it was their sister or their mother or a
Yep.
female they care about, their mentality would be completely different. But
That's
but it's
true.
because it's a female that they're pursuing or trying to have sex with or whatever. It's a different set of rules, and I
Yeah.
just can't stand that. And I feel like literally a lot of men in my generation, like in my age group, that's what they want. Like, you want to have sex, you want to have sex, that's great. You're not
Mhm.
gonna get sex out of me, but you go find somebody else. But like, don't come to me with
True.
that. Like,
Wow.
it's disrespectful and it's offensive to me because it's like, what made you think that with the little bit of effort you put in that what I was gonna lay up with you? Are you joking?
Mm. That's what I'm talking about.
Mm. All right. So I guess with that
Mm.
being said, right?
Yeah.
How do you view like sex, right? Because I mean, sex education for us
Yeah.
was very different, right?
Hmm.
Like we learned from our friends, right? We weren't, it wasn't a healthy progression
Yeah.
for sex education with us. So I guess what was your experience? Like how did you learn about sex and what it was to be intimate with a person?
Well, it was all around me because well, not in my house, but
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
outside.
Hmm.
Like the schools I went to a predominantly black elementary to middle school. And a lot of the kids that I was in middle school with now, well, at the time had kids. Like
Wow.
we're now
You said in,
25.
I'm
I'm
sorry, you said in middle school,
middle school. Yeah,
like sixth, seventh, and eighth grade,
yeah.
They had kids in middle school?
Like they were pregnant in middle school.
no, like I'm talking about, you talking about this like sixth, seventh, and eighth graders. No, I'm being serious. Like for real?
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, y'all lived a whole
like
different world. Okay.
I knew, I know three girls off the top of my head I could think of that their kids now are like 7 to 10 years old.
Wow. Wow.
But yeah, kids were having sex in middle school. I wasn't, but kids were definitely
Wow.
having sex in middle school. So I mean, it was all around. Like it's on the TV. It's very exposed to people today, and when I was growing up, so it was all around me. Like how I educated myself on it is how I educate myself on everything. I mean, I saw what other people was doing. I wasn't gonna do that because it was like
Mm.
I'm like 13. What business do I have having sex right now?
Wow.
No thanks.
So you
So
was educated. So you're more so educated from your surroundings, not from home. You would
yeah,
say.
my parents never talked to me about sex. Are you
Mm.
crazy?
That's kind of what, you
Yeah.
said the same
Same here.
thing.
Yeah. Talk to me about it.
So
Just don't have sex.
that's it.
Literally. That's it. Just don't have sex.
Yeah, it was
Chelsea,
never
how was yours? Did your parents like, did they give you any kind of like,
no.
don't have sex, don't, so they just kind of just,
Didn't talk about it at all. Yeah, they
Nope.
just told us don't have sex.
your parents got 5 kids and they didn't tell you about sex? 5 kids.
That's wow.
I'd have been uncomfortable if my parents tried to talk to me about sex. I'd be like, I'm okay. No thanks.
But
I'd
why
have
why
been
wouldn't you want
uncomfortable
to
about
know
that.
that? Why wouldn't you want to know about the information from your parents though?
Nah, I'm okay. I don't know. Like
Hmm.
even now, my mom was to come up to me right now and say something about sex. I'd be looking at her like, cut it out, please.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know.
Wow. Do you think that could be a reason why you run into a lot of men with this issue because they learn about sex through the culture around and things like that and not really formally understanding what sex is?
It could be seen like that. I don't think that rings true for me as much. I don't think I think I've done a pretty good job navigating without my parents' knowledge, but I
Mhm.
do have some friends that parents were more open about talking to them about sex, and I can say that I identify in them that they had a better understanding earlier in life than I had.
Mm.
So I had to
Okay.
like mold my experiences based on people I was talking to, experience I had. Like my best friend, I'll use first age. Her mom is very open with her about like sex and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So she would always speak to her about it. So she had like a better understanding and
Mm.
just in the general concept of how who to date, what type of men to date, what how not to let a man treat you. And of course I knew those things as well, but it was like a deeper
Deeper
understanding.
understanding. Okay.
That's real. Okay, so let me ask you this then, right? Have you ever experienced or seen anyone experience cheating?
Yes, I'm around all my friends are cheaters.
Mhm.
All of them. Like
Oh, you
all
talking
of
about
them.
All your
girls,
friends are
girls and
cheaters?
guys?
Yes. I have more I think my female friends might cheat more than my male friends do.
Wow,
Wow.
that's
Yeah.
deep.
Now, have you cheated?
No, that is literally something I will never do. And everyone never no one ever believes me for whatever
Mm.
reason. I
Mm-hmm.
would never cheat on somebody, and that's like a deal breaker for me in a relationship. Well, I think it is. I don't know. I don't know. I've never been cheated on. So well, not
Mm-hmm.
to my
That's
knowledge at least.
good.
Not to my knowledge at least. But to me, my whole concept on cheating is I don't have to do anything in this world but stay black and die. And the stay black is questionable. So like so why on earth would I sit here and be in a relationship with somebody and then disrespect them in such a way to sit here and be out here doing something with somebody else, whether it's emotionally, physically, whatever, mentally, just break up with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's that's
Mhm.
such a selfish thing to do to sit here and cheat on someone and disrespect them. Like I laugh because I'm around a bunch of cheaters, but and they
Yeah.
know how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I would never do that, and I have like very strong views about cheating. Like absolutely
So
not.
does it? Do you think it stems from your household? Like, have you ever experienced it in your house?
Mm, well, I don't know. Well, like with my parents, if
Yeah.
my dad cheated on my mom or vice versa, I'm not aware of it.
Well,
So
we can't charge them. They didn't do it because Enoch's
yeah,
parents is the same way, right? His
Yeah.
parents never cheated on one another. They've been a
Mhm.
loyal marriage for 74,000 years. You know what I'm saying? But and I use me an example because like my parents, like my father violated my mom all the time. Like I'm talking
Mm.
about. I don't remember. I can't remember my childhood without my father cheating on my mom. Right? I literally like I don't have no recollection of that until they divorced, and then I was older, so obviously it didn't really. Me being older, I didn't. Not saying I didn't care, but I definitely was more like, okay. I mean, I knew this was coming. This should have been happened,
yeah.
but it's weird. Not even weird, but it's ironic to see that you never experienced it. So it's like one of those principles that you're like stern on,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? So if so hypothetically, if somebody was to cheat on you, do you think you would take them back?
I sitting here right now, my answer would probably be no, but I know it's not that simple because if I'm in a relationship with this person and I have like strong feelings for them, it probably wouldn't be as simple. And I think the details of the cheating would also come into play with my decision. But right now, if I'm thinking about if somebody cheats on me, no, why don't you cheat on me? Come on, come
We're
on.
noticing that with a lot of females, it's that mindset of it depends. It's like situational when it comes to cheating. Why we said that it may be because of the nourishing mindset that women have, but from your perspective, why do you think it would be situational to decide if you would leave if he cheats?
Well, for me specifically, I just know like if I care about a person a lot, like I'm trying to think like in there's certain things that have happened in some of my relationships, and I've said, oh, if this happens, I'm leaving, and they
Mhm.
happen, and because I had such a connection with the person and we had a foundation, we worked through it and went
Yeah,
on. So I think
yeah,
like that's where I come from when I say it's situational. Like now, if somebody was to cheat on me and let's say had sex with my best friend, I can almost guarantee I'm not getting back together with
yeah,
that person.
yeah,
But if I catch my boyfriend what texting a girl, I mean that's those are two different levels. Like So that's why I say it's situational.
All right, good. I'm glad you said that because because
What is cheating to me? Is that the
yeah,
question?
there we go. I was
Yeah.
about to ask you because
Yeah.
we'll let you say your version of cheating because we
Mhm.
don't want to influence your mind, right? So
Yeah.
we're gonna let you say your version of cheating, then I'm gonna let Enoch say his version of cheating, and I'm probably just gonna agree with him because at the end of the day, we run on the same morals. Go ahead. What's your version of cheating?
Um, for me, clearly having sex with somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
going out with anybody, like it, anything that you're trying to pursue the person to have some type of emotional connection or physical connection, to me is cheating. Like some of my friends say like dancing on a girl in the club is cheating. That's not cheating to me. Like that's you're just dancing on somebody in the club. But
Okay.
like if you're texting somebody, trying to link them, take them out, whatever for whatever purposes to have sex with them or whatever, nah, absolutely not.
Okay.
Anything that you wouldn't want me to do not do to me. And I'm really heavy on that statement because
Okay.
I really don't do it. If you know whatever actions you were doing, if I did it to you, you would be upset. Don't do it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
That's so
Okay.
that's your
So you
version of
say
cheating. Go ahead, E.
okay. So you say pursuing, right? I say the minute that thought of that comes into your mind, you're cheating. You're
No,
cheating because now it's in your mind. Like, yo, I'm trying to. For me, the minute I look at a woman, I say, I'm trying to see what's good with that. I cheated. It's over. It's over.
no.
You don't
Nah,
think so?
Why would that be cheating? Just because you're in a
that's when it
relationship with,
starts.
I mean, but you're you're in a world with other people. Like I think if everyone had that mentality, it would cause a lot of problems because there's other people. I could be in a relationship with somebody and still see somebody and be like, "Damn, he looks good," and I would expect the same for
No,
like.
no, 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 no.
That's
That's
not
not
what
what
he
I'm saying.
said. That's not
That's
what
not
he
what I'm
said.
saying.
He said we never said that people get
Mm.
ugly
Yeah,
after you
we
get into a
talk about
relationship.
all the time. As man, women still look good. I can see a girl like, oh yeah, she look good. But the minute I'm going like, yo, I'm trying to see what's good with that. Oh no, you cheated.
It's
The
just a
minute
thought.
you have
You have to
that
act
thought,
on the thought.
that thought.
I feel like men have those thoughts all the time. If as long as you don't act on it,
I don't know. All right, so I'm gonna tell
But
you
for you
this,
to
right?
act on it, you have to have the thought first. So everybody has that initial seed. And then once you have that, that's the only way you can cheat. You can't cheat if you don't have that thought.
but
Hold
nobody
on?
would.
Let me ask you a question. Hold on. Do you think cheating is an accident?
No,
Can you accidentally cheat?
I was about to say something crazy.
Be like, it's a mistake. All right, is cheating a mistake?
No, everything about cheating is intentional.
Okay.
Unless somebody literally wants to essentially rape you, and which
Yeah.
would not be considered cheating,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
the physical aspect of it, how is it a mistake? I accidentally got feelings for this person. Why are you
Yeah.
talking to them so much that you got feelings for them? You should
Okay.
have passed out.
So look. All right. So peep. What we saying, right? And it's extreme. It is extreme what we're saying, but
Yeah.
let me explain why it works, right? And this is what I'm gonna tell you. Because cheating isn't always the physical action, right? Cheating actually starts in the mind. So we don't really deal with the repercussions, meaning in the sense of like you had sex. We want to deal with what actually got you to the point of
Mm-hmm.
you having sex, right? Or pursuing the next person, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
So what happens is if you don't govern your thoughts. So if Enoch was to be like, I see a girl, she's pretty, right? We're not saying anything's wrong with that because there are going to be attractive people in the
Yeah.
world. That's normal, right? I can go to my wife, oh, I don't even want to say I can go to my wife, but like if I can't tell my wife something,
Mm-hmm.
right, in that aspect where it's like if I say to her, yo, babe, she's a pretty girl,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
She wouldn't take it as yo, I'm pursuing her,
Exactly.
Yeah.
right? But it stems from the fact that she knows where my mind is if I'm saying that. So if
Mm-hmm.
I go, hey, Beyonce's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Beyonce's beautiful. Most of the time, if you're in a comfortable relationship or a healthy relationship, you kind of pick up on the same thing. So
Mm-hmm.
if my wife is to tell me anything that was counteractive to our marriage, then automatically I'm like, yo, like where did that even come from? So
Yeah.
what Enoch is talking about is the actual process of the thought.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why we deal with the thought is because if we don't deal with our thoughts on a consistent basis, eventually one of those thoughts could turn into an action. So
Yeah.
you want to correct it every single time. So
Yeah.
when girls say, "Oh, if you go dance on a girl, that's not cheating,"
Yeah.
right? To
Yeah.
me, you took
Yeah.
it way too far.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
about to be, I'm about to be grinding up on her cheeks, and my wife
you
will push
took
me
it.
down my
Yeah, you
jaw.
took it there.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, I'm just giving you hypothetical. Like the level, I just feel like this, right? The level of respect for your partner has to be so high that you even want to trust their thoughts. Not saying that everybody has the same, patterns, but you want to be able to trust their morals. You know get what I'm saying? So for you to tell me if you like, I wouldn't want you to be like, if my man go dance on a girl in the club, I ain't gonna be upset, right? But then you go to the club with your man, he getting busy with some girl, she getting
You gonna
crazy
be
with her.
tight.
You
You gonna be
like,
tight.
yo, what?
Relax.
You
Don't be
do.
like
Relax, right? But then he could say to you, exactly. But then he could say to you, babe, what you mean? I'm just dancing. It's
Yeah.
nothing. Meanwhile, son is getting off like, oh my gosh, she got the wop. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Facts.
So,
Facts.
so what we're saying basically is that you have to correct thoughts because the thoughts is what turns into the action. So you don't want to wait till the action happens and go, yo, I can't believe you violated. You should have nipped that in the butt from before it even got to this point
That's a
because
fact.
the action hurts way more than the thought. You can correct the thought and be like, well, at least he didn't do it. But if you got a man who doesn't constantly correct his thoughts, you're gonna start to see certain patterns that you
Yeah.
don't like in them, but you would probably be like, well, I did tell him that if he grinds up on that girl at the club, it's okay.
Yeah.
Now you lower your standards, right? Because you're like, I said it, and it puts you in a bad situation. I know it's extreme. Don't get it twisted. I know
Yeah.
it's extreme, but
But it leads to other things like the text
Yeah.
message. If your man knows, like, oh, I got caught texting, but it wasn't too crazy. All right, cool. Now I'm gonna keep texting. Now he texting somebody that's really, really with it.
yeah,
And now he's like, so now the next step. Now it's like, I'm gonna just meet up with her.
yeah.
And then it goes further and further. So when you stop it from the beginning,
The root.
it's so much hard. Look at us. We think dubbing on a girl is crazy.
I think, yo,
Because our
when you said
mindset
that,
is so far back.
Chelsea, I'm not gonna lie. When you said that, I was like, "Oh, she's wilding." Imagine me, my Trini wife, me going to wind up on some girl. You crazy? Oh my god. And I'm gonna be honest. Like, it's not even the fact that I'm scared of my wife or anything like that. It's just my culture. Like, my morals are my culture. So I would never violate or do anything to my wife that she would feel uncomfortable with. So I would just, we're not gonna tell you what to think, but just be mindful of the things that you're saying that you're accepting. You know what I'm saying? Just be mindful.
I date don't be dancing anyway. So
All right, so let me ask you this, right? With obviously you're 25 now. Your parents been married 30 some odd years. Could you see yourself getting into or are you dating right now for a serious relationship, or are you still at that stage where you're like, I'm not really dealing with men like that right now?
so now
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving these men a break because I've been through mental anguish.
Mm, mm,
But when I won't even say I'm giving men a break. I feel like I'm done looking for men. The
Okay.
person that next person I date is literally going to, I'm not gonna say be put through the ringer because I don't like to make statements like that, but like
Mm-hmm.
they are really going to have to show a lot of effort to get me to feel like, okay, I want to open myself up to sit here and, get to know this person or whatever. Because no.
mm-hmm.
And when I do start seriously dating again, it is to get married. I want to be married. I wish I was married right now. I
Mm.
want to be free of this world and have my husband and do all the fun things and tasks I want to do. Because to me, like when I have like a boyfriend, it's like my best friend. Like we'll do all the crazy stuff I want to do, try restaurants.
Yep.
Yeah.
Friend, it's just my friend that I'm
Yeah.
dating.
Now
So
let me ask you something. If you do have a man, right, and his morals is kind of where we stand, right, and he says to you, "All your friends are cheaters. I don't want you to be around them anymore." How would you feel about that?
Oh, good question.
well, one I would.
Mm,
I'm really big on that because I actually had my ex boyfriend actually wanted me to stop being friends with some people I was friends with.
mm-hmm.
I'm really big on that. I mean, no disrespect to it's a conversation clearly that's going to be had, but I'm not going to stop being friends with somebody unless they're literally doing something that's detrimental to our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to, and I wouldn't tell somebody else. I've known these people, most of my friends I've known for 10, 20 plus years. I'm not going to stop being friends with them. What does them cheating have to do with me? They've been cheating for years and I've not been cheating for years. So I think that goes back to trust. Like, if you, to me, that would be like a level like, well, you don't trust me or something. Cause it's like, why do you care if my friends are cheating?
You don't think they can influence you in some way? Like
Nope.
even by the littlest thing, like the fact that some things you don't consider cheating. Do you think having friends that cheat might have influenced that mindset?
No, my friends, I'll say my specific friends in college when I was in a relationship, they tried to get me to cheat on my boyfriend, and
Wow.
I was like, nah, I'm okay. It was like they gave my boyfriend in college was an athlete. He was a
Mhm.
football player, and what happened? A visiting school, I came for a basketball game, and I guess one of the basketball players tried to get my number, so my friend gave him my number without me knowing. So some random person is texting me, and I'm like, "Who is this?" And they're like, "Oh, it's whatever number from whatever school on the
Mm.
basketball team." And I literally just blocked the number. I'm not easily influenced. I think that's a person's mindset. Somebody to say if for somebody to say, "Oh, they convinced me to cheat," you're weak minded. Nobody can convince me to do anything because I've been around these people for years. I've seen cheaters. I'm friends with cheaters. I've been with people while they're cheating,
Gee.
and and it never influenced me.
Wow.
I stand very strong on that pillar of not cheating, and nobody in the world could probably ever make me cheat. To be honest, somebody could cheat on me, and I still wouldn't cheat back. Like cheat back on them. I just stop talking to them. Like that's me. I'm gonna let somebody into
Hmm.
my
Hmm.
character. Imagine
So,
that.
all right, let me give you a hypothetical situation, right? All right, because I'm really curious to know what you think about this. All right, so none of my friends that are married cheat on their wives, and if they do,
To your knowledge,
whatever you want to call it, to my knowledge, if I find out, we're no longer friends. Am I wrong for that?
no, because
How?
that's how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
If you govern how you who you want in your life and the type of people you want around you.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel strongly about cheating to that extent, which I also feel the same way, but I'm not gonna stop being friends because they're cheating. I chastise my friends all the time for cheating. I'm like, you guys are ridiculous. Like I don't understand why you guys do it. But
Mm-hmm.
that's their life. That's not
Mhm.
affecting me. It is what it is. I wouldn't like my male friends that cheat. I have like one of my closest male friends. He's like an avid cheater.
Oh
It's
my God.
ridiculous. I don't think he's been in one relationship in his life that he hasn't cheated on
Wow.
his girlfriend with.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever he asks me to like put him onto one of my friends, I tell him absolutely not. And I tell my friends in his like he'll be there with me and my other friend that he's trying to talk to, and I'll be like, yeah, he's a cheater, so no, straight with a straight face. He hates it, and I'll be like, I don't know what to tell you. He's a cheater. We sat at a barbecue
Well,
one time. He was trying to talk to my friend,
Yo.
and I literally sat here and broke down how he cheated on his girlfriend while like I was in the vicinity of the
Oh,
area,
y'all
and I was
different.
like, and
you
I'll
know
tell
what
him,
though? I think
and when he
all
does,
right.
just laugh.
Do you think it's a difference between when you're married, right, and with your girlfriend or boyfriend and cheating? Like, is there a
It
difference?
shouldn't be, but for most people it is, and I would be lying if I said it
I
isn't.
agree with that. I agree
Nah,
with
we agree with that too. That's
yeah.
why I asked you.
Yeah.
Like, we think it's a lot because we view marriage as such a high esteem, and the
Hmm.
covenant
Yeah,
itself, right? You know, that violation is although the repercussions of it is still similar in the sense of like you
yeah.
get hurt.
Yeah.
But when you do an oath under God, it's different compared to when you just say, "Oh yeah, that's my girlfriend," you know,
Yeah.
whatever the case is.
Commit
So
yourself to somebody and marry them and stand before your family,
Yeah.
God,
That's
everybody,
different level.
and then choose to violate that bond, that agreement. That's to me like it's new level. When I see people
Yeah.
that are in marriages cheating, I'm
mm,
Yeah.
just like, what is wrong with you? Like
Yeah.
it's
That's
what's wrong with you for regular people that are like just dating too, but
yeah,
that's a new level because you
hmm
took a very big step to do that. Why?
mm.
It's very weird. Very weird.
Oh
for
boy,
lack of a better word.
I like that though, because listen, I'm gonna be honest. Your generation, I hate to sound like the old man, but 25,
Yeah.
25, let's just say, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've talking to a lot of that age range,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just like, there's a certain consistency that the young ladies have that is a little concerning, right? Where they mirror their lifestyles according to the gentleman's lifestyle,
Yeah,
right? And it's like it's hard to explain to them for a clear cut message where it's saying hold yourself to a higher standard.
Yeah.
Don't belittle yourself because these guys are doing this.
Yeah.
Yes, it might hurt. Yes, I know, but if anything, I would much rather you hold yourself to a standard and just be like, "Yo, I'm just not dealing with y'all. Go about
yeah,
your business. I'm not dating you." Or if you
Mm-hmm.
date, just honestly, what it really comes down to, just don't have sex with them. Because you could date, go
Yeah.
have fun, do your thing, but just
Yeah.
don't give yourself to them. Because the minute you give yourself to them, now you put yourself in a situation where it's a different type of bond,
Mm-hmm.
and you give you're allowing him to have a piece of you that you'll never be able to get back. And when that happens, that's where that pain and that
and the
Yep.
extra
that's
emotions.
so yes, the extra emotions. And I realize like a lot of girls, they're just in that generation specifically, they're very prone to that, just this, I don't want to even call it like a player
Tat
mindset.
mentality.
Hmm.
A tit for tat mentality. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
what guys do, but a lot of females my age don't realize, and it's just the society we live in. There's double standards,
Yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
the stuff that men do, I don't sit here. Yeah, there's certain things that I could do that a man does, but is that really a good look for me? If my guy goes and cheats on me with 4 girls, what am I gonna go out and have sex with 6 guys? Like
Yeah.
that's crazy. Like
That is.
I'm gonna look crazy. He's
That's
not gonna
right.
look crazy. And I really pride myself on being like a type of person like that, regardless of what anybody does, because I'm not strong woman of the world where I don't get my feelings hurt, even though
Hmm.
for whatever reason these men think that. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, my feelings get hurt and stuff, or my heart has been broken or whatever. But like that's not. I don't let that change the type of person that I am or how I move.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be me, and I'm gonna do what's best for me and what I want to do in a positive aspect.
Yep.
Whatever hurt I get, and this is another thing I really hate. I call them scorn people. I hate them.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
takes like yeah, there's certain experiences that happen that probably are harder for some people to get over.
Hmm.
Every bad thing that has happened to me in a relationship I've been in, I've
Hmm.
taken it, learned from it, and moved on. I'm
Hmm.
not holding the next man accountable because the what the last person did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a lot of men, not even in my age group in general,
Yeah.
somebody stole their blue crayon in kindergarten. So now a girl got blue shorts on. I hate her. I hate her. Like it's
That's
like
true.
there's a lot of men like that. It's like don't be like that. Take whatever happened to you, move on, and don't hold somebody accountable. Every man that I date is they start off at 100 with me.
Hmm.
You either keep yourself at 100 or you decline down based on your actions. I don't put anything that somebody else has done on the next person. That's not fair to them. Why would I make somebody else pay for something they had nothing to do with? That's weird.
Okay.
Word of the
Okay.
day.
So
Weird.
speaking on that, what is for your future husband? What is that?
Wherever you are, come find me, please. Now, sir. Come
So
take
now,
me out.
what is a must-have that your future husband needs? Like, is this without this, like you don't see a future?
As far as like a character trait,
See, I would
Whatever.
do. Let's do. We already know
I
the
was gonna
height.
joke and say
We know the
money.
height. We already know the height thing is it's already ingrained, even though she didn't want to say it. But let's just talk about the mentality, right? Like,
Yeah.
what is something that they have to be?
I would have to say the first and most important thing would be respect. That's the
Hmm.
foundation of everything. If
Hmm.
you don't have the respect for me, we really can't go anywhere. And then I would probably say right next to I mean, what did I just say?
Respect.
Respect.
Next to respect to be probably faithfulness. That'd probably
Hmm.
be
Hmm.
the next thing because those two combined would be the foundation for our success.
Hmm.
Without those things, if you're not faithful to me, it's really gonna be curtains. Like it's done. You don't have any respect for me. We really can't grow. Because somebody doesn't respect me, why would I want to be in a relationship with them, and why would I even consider moving forward with them? So I'd probably think those would be the first two things or most important two things that
Okay,
show.
so
Does
let
a
me ask you
spiritual
this,
life
right?
matter?
Say that
Huh?
again.
I'm saying, does a spiritual life matter too in that or no?
Um, Clearly I'm not gonna date an atheist or like, but I don't. There's so many different ways that I've seen people worship or have a spiritual connection, and that some people believe in God and they don't choose to go to church. They choose
Mm-hmm.
to do something else. So
Yeah.
as long as you have a some type of belief system that's not like corrupt or crazy. When I say corrupt or crazy, I mean like atheist or whichever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Besides that, I wouldn't put that as such a high priority because there's so many different ways that people show their spirituality, and I've seen a lot of different things, and no one is better than the other.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, it wouldn't be like high priority. Like if somebody I said I'm going to church, hell no, the devil's in the church. I probably wouldn't date somebody that's like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
All right, let me ask you. So, do you connect? Because when you said that, right, it kind of makes me think. Do you connect God with the church?
I don't
Mm-hmm.
immediate. Like that's the like probably when I think of church God, I usually just think of church immediately. But in
Mm-hmm.
when I think delve into it and think more, that's not the only way. Because I know people that don't go to church that are more spiritual than me. I don't
Mm-hmm.
go to church every week, but that doesn't make me less spiritual than somebody else. Like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you consider when you say spiritual? Like, what is your your perspective of it?
there's actually no definition from and like I can think
Mm-hmm.
of. It's kind of just like because I've met people. I was raised Catholic,
Mm-hmm.
and now I dislike Catholic churches.
Mm-hmm.
Boring, very boring.
Okay.
Were
Mm-hmm.
you raised as a Catholic as well?
I wasn't Catholic. I was raised Christian,
Oh,
Pentecostal, I
oh
guess
wow.
they would call that.
So,
Yeah.
um, I then started when I went to college. I started going to like regular Christian churches.
Mm-hmm.
But I've dated people. I actually dated somebody that was Muslim before.
Okay.
Um, I've dated somebody that was a Christian but didn't go to conventional churches, like like what you would probably see like the
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So
That's what I went to.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't really have a definition. I kind of let somebody tell me what their version of their spirituality is, and if I
Mm-hmm.
understand it, great. If I don't, I'd like to learn it, as long as it doesn't, conflict with anything that I believe heavily. It's fine to me. Oh,
Okay. Okay. I mean, I'll tell you this much, right? When we hear, and it's not on purpose, obviously, but when we hear perspectives of faith and spirituality, we're always promoting laws, right? And it might rub, I don't even say it rubs people wrong, but it
Mhm.
definitely it
It
challenges
conflicts. It conflicts. Yeah.
it definitely conflicts
Yeah.
with
Culture.
personal beliefs and
Mm-hmm.
culture, right?
Hmm.
So when we all right, so for example, for us, right? Me and Enoch are very different. We're two different people. We operate differently, but the reason why we're so close is because our morals align, right?
hmm
So we follow the same moral code. And what we realized is that when you have this moral code, not only should you establish it, but you should try to make sure the person that you're with is aligned with that, right?
yeah,
Because what happens oftentimes is like if somebody tells you what their belief system is, if it conflicts with what you think, if you like the person, you're more subjective to what they're saying, even if the root of it is inaccurate. You kind of
yeah,
get what I'm saying? So it's not that we ever it's not that we ever talk down on like spiritual beliefs or anything like, but we always say ask the right questions. That's like a
Yeah.
big thing for us, right?
Yeah.
Like where does it stem from? What is the root of why you believe this? And I think what happens when you do that a lot of times is you get to the core of belief systems, and
Mm-hmm.
let's just say your level of respect is very high on your expectation level for your relationship. there's a root of why respect is at that level. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you get to a point where you do take somebody serious and he does come in your life and he says whatever he wants to say,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's important that you always ask the right questions, right?
Yeah.
Don't leave it up to them to dictate. And I know you're not, because
Yeah.
I've been around you enough to know that you're not easily moved by words, right? But more so than that, just at the root of everything that you're thinking, even like when we talking about cheating, like you said, dancing, we're looking at you like, oh, you're bugging. Like, and I'm not gonna front. I was like, oh, Chelsea on a different type of time than I assume. But I just think that it's important to always just get to the root of why, especially when you're in a relationship that you're taking serious,
Yeah.
you get to the root of why the person is the way they are, and just
Yeah.
make sure it's a quality message behind it. We use the Beatitudes and the Ten
Yeah.
Commandments to govern our lives. Like, that's what we use. Not everybody uses that. We don't tell people that you have to, but what we learned is there's a certain consistency when the root of the concept is aligned with God's principles, right?
Yeah.
There's just a certain consistency that you'll see in the person's character. So Enoch
Mhm.
could do something totally different than me, and I could be in Africa, whatever, but
Mhm.
I trust Enoch's morals,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what he stands on. So I think even, when you move forward and we meet your future
Yeah.
husband.
Especially in the husband, because he's essentially gonna be the head of the household. So you want to make sure he's aligned so that that foundation isn't cracking.
Yeah.
Facts. So
Yeah.
hold on, let me real quick though. How do you feel about that? Like the husband being the head of the household. Like, what is your perspective on that?
I'm traditional. That's how it's supposed to be in my
Okay.
mind.
So when you say, so when he's the head, what does that mean? Does he make all decisions?
No. So
Okay, there you
I
go.
mean,
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
for the most for the most part,
Mhm.
probably yes. I'll probably. It's not like I'll ask my husband to do stuff, but I
Mhm.
want a man that leads.
Yeah.
Like I lead as well.
Mhm.
It's a partnership,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
like you're the head of the household. You do this. You provide. You protect. That's your role in my
Mhm.
mind.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Like doesn't mean like I don't know. What's the word that people love to use? Submissive? Is that it?
A submissive wife.
Yeah. People are like, I don't know, for whatever reason, like girls try so hard. I don't want to be submissive. I'm like,
Yeah.
why are you trying so hard to be the man? like, my lord, like, relax. like, like, it's giving.
All
Do
right.
you?
Oh no. Well, listen,
Yeah.
I look forward to meeting this future man,
Right.
right? And Chelsea, we want to thank you for
Most
coming to
definitely.
express yourself. It's always a
Yeah.
good time when we talk. And we're gonna have you
Appreciate your
back. You know what I'm
honesty.
saying? Yes, Chelsea.
Appreciate your
Chelsea.
honesty.
Chelsea gives it to it the way it is, and I'm
Right.
thank you for keeping it PG, because trust me, she gets busy. Don't get it twisted. She gets busy. I had to give
I
her
did
like
so good.
I had to warn her, like, this is a family friendly podcast. Could you just, alter the words a little bit? And you did an amazing job, and
Yeah.
I'm
Appreciate you.
grateful for you.
Thank
And
you.
listen, make sure you bring your future husband around so we can, ask him a few questions.
Yeah. Yeah. Make sure he's on the right path
I
and the right position.
God is listening. Please send him my way immediately.
Other than that, yo, E, you want to leave them with something?
Through relationships, it's gonna be ups and downs.
Facts.
Keep God before anything. You heard?
Listen, always strive for perfection. So if you fall short, you'll still be excellent. We'll see y'all next week. Thanks, Charles. Later.
Thank you.